hit the subscribe button. Currently only 1.7% of my viewers are. Subscribe once we hit 1,000 subscribers. I'll release an exclusive special video, just for you.
Zara's heart pounded as she watched the debt collectors arrive, their shadowy forms menacing under the twin suns of her home planet, Valaris. The marketplace buzzed with life, a stark contrast to the dread gnawing at her stomach. "Zara, run!" Her father's desperate cry pierced through the clamor, but her legs felt like lead. The collectors, clad in dark, imposing armor, moved through the crowd with an air of authority. Zarin, the intergalactic crime lord, led them. His presence commanded fear and respect, a tall figure with cold, calculating eyes. Zara's father stood in front of their modest stall, his shoulders slumped in defeat. "Please, give me more time," her father pleaded, his voice trembling. Zarin's lips curled into a cruel smile. "Time is a luxury you no longer have," Zarin replied, his voice as icy as the void. "The debt is due, and I intend to collect." Zara's breath caught in her throat as she was pulled from her hiding place. "No. Father, don't let them take me," she cried, struggling against the iron grip of the guards. Her father's eyes, filled with guilt and sorrow, met hers. "I'm sorry, Zara. This is the only way." Zarin's laughter echoed through the marketplace as Zara was dragged away. The bustling life around her blurred into a chaotic whirl of colors and sounds. Her mind raced, heart pounding with fear and anger. The cold metal cuffs bit into her wrists, a harsh reminder of her new reality. The slave ship loomed ahead, its dark hull absorbing the sunlight. Zara was shoved up the ramp and into the dimly lit interior. The stench of sweat and despair hit her like a physical blow. She was pushed into a cramped cell, the door clanging shut behind her. A fellow captive, an alien boy with silver skin and bright blue eyes, offered her a weak smile. "Welcome to the Dark Star," he said, his voice tinged with irony. "I'm Jax." Zara sank to the floor, her knees trembling. "I'm Zara," she whispered, her voice barely audible. "I can't believe this is happening." Jax's eyes softened. "None of us can. But we have to stay strong. There's always hope." Days turned into weeks as Zara endured the grueling conditions aboard the slave ship. The work was relentless, and the guards were merciless. Yet, amidst the despair, Zara's resolve hardened. She befriended the other captives, sharing stories and dreams of freedom. Her hidden talents, like her uncanny ability to navigate star maps and repair advanced technology, began to surface. One night, as Zara lay on the cold, hard floor, she overheard a conversation between the guards. "We've picked up an unidentified ship on the radar," one of them said. "Could be trouble." Zara's curiosity piqued. An unidentified ship could mean rescue, or at least, a distraction. She shared her thoughts with Jax and the others. "We need to be ready. This could be our chance." The next day, the tension aboard the ship was palpable. Zara noticed the guards were more alert, their eyes darting nervously. As the hours passed, the ship's alarms blared suddenly, red lights flashing. The captives were herded into the central hold, confusion and fear spreading like wildfire. Zara's heart raced. This was it. She scanned the room, locking eyes with Jax and the others. They nodded subtly, ready to act at a moment's notice. The ship shuddered violently, and the main door burst open. A figure stepped through the smoke and debris, his silhouette imposing. Captain Liam Hawke, a seasoned human space explorer with a rugged charm and an Australian accent, strode into the hold. His presence exuded confidence and authority. "Everyone, stay calm," he commanded, his voice cutting through the chaos. "I'm here to help." Zara's eyes widened with a mixture of hope and disbelief. Could this stranger truly be their savior? Liam's gaze swept across the room, locking onto Zara. He approached her, extending a hand. "I can't leave you here. We're getting out, together." Zara grasped his hand, her determination surging. I can help. I know the ship's layout. Liam nodded, his eyes filled with respect. Then let's move. As they navigated the labyrinthine corridors of the slave ship, Zara's knowledge proved invaluable. They encountered guards, but Liam's tactical expertise and Zara's quick thinking allowed them to outmaneuver their adversaries. Finally, they reached the hangar bay, where Liam's ship, the Starfinder, awaited. Zara and the other captives boarded swiftly, their hearts pounding with anticipation. The Starfinder's engines roared to life, and they blasted off, leaving the slave ship far behind. Zara stood on the bridge, gazing out at the stars. For the first time in weeks, she felt a glimmer of hope. We're free, she whispered, tears of relief streaming down her face. The alarms blared as the Starfinder pierced through hyperspace, escaping the clutches of the slave ship. Zara's heart raced with a mixture of fear and exhilaration. She clung to the edge of her seat, the vibrations of the ship thrumming through her bones. Captain Liam Hawke stood at the helm, his gaze fixed on the endless expanse of stars ahead. Course plotted, Captain, the ship's AI chimed. Destination, Calian Station. Liam glanced at Zara, a reassuring smile tugging at his lips. You're safe now, Zara. We're taking you to a place where you can start anew. Zara nodded, her mind still grappling with the whirlwind of recent events. The sterile, metallic interior of the Starfinder was a stark contrast to the grimy confines of the slave ship. It felt like a dream, one she feared might end at any moment. Jax, her fellow escapee, approached her with a cautious smile. It's a lot to take in, isn't it? Yeah, Zara admitted, her voice barely above a whisper. I still can't believe we made it out. As the Starfinder hurtled through space, Zara began to explore the ship. The crew welcomed her warmly, each member offering a piece of their story. There was Leora, a fiery engineer with a knack for fixing anything, and Torin, the ship's stoic navigator, whose precision was unmatched. Over dinner in the mess hall, the crew's camaraderie became evident. They shared stories and laughter, a stark contrast to the tense silence Zara had grown accustomed to. Liam's voice cut through the chatter, drawing Zara's attention. So, Zara, he began, tell us about yourself. How did you end up on Valaris? Zara hesitated, the painful memories surfacing. My father, he sold me to pay off a debt. I don't know much about my past. Just that I've always had a knack for technology. Liam's expression softened with understanding. You've been through a lot. But you're safe here. And you're part of our crew now. The next day, the Starfinder approached Calian Station, a sprawling hub of activity orbiting a vibrant blue planet. The station buzzed with life, ships of all shapes and sizes docking and departing. Zara watched in awe from the viewport as they neared the station. As the crew disembarked, Liam led Zara through the bustling corridors of the station. The air was thick with the scent of exotic spices and the hum of countless conversations. Merchants hawked their wares, and travelers from distant worlds hurried by. Stay close, Liam advised, his gaze scanning the crowd. Calian Station is safe, but it's easy to get lost. Zara followed closely, her eyes wide with wonder. They arrived at a modest yet welcoming inn, where Liam had arranged for temporary lodging. As they settled in, a sense of calm began to replace Zara's lingering anxiety. That evening, Liam and Zara sat on a balcony overlooking the station's central plaza. The lights of the station glittered like stars against the dark expanse of space. I've been thinking, Zara began, breaking the comfortable silence. I want to help. I don't want to be a burden. Liam turned to her, his expression thoughtful. You're not a burden, Zara. But if you want to contribute, we'd be glad to have you. What are you thinking? Zara's eyes sparkled with determination. I can help with the ship. Repairs, navigation, whatever you need. Liam smiled, a glint of pride in his eyes. We could use someone with your skills. Welcome aboard, officially. Their conversation was interrupted by a sudden commotion in the plaza below. Shouts and the clatter of weapons echoed through the air. Zara's heart leapt into her throat as she peered over the balcony's edge. A group of armed men, their faces obscured by hoods, were causing a ruckus. Liam's expression hardened, and he quickly assessed the situation. "Stay here," he instructed Zara. "I'm going to see what's going on." As Liam descended into the fray, Zara's mind raced. She watched, tense and anxious, as he confronted the men. The situation escalated rapidly, and a fight broke out. Liam's combat skills were impressive, but he was outnumbered. Zara's eyes darted around, searching for something, anything, that could help. Her gaze landed on a nearby control panel. She sprinted towards it, her fingers flying over the unfamiliar controls. Within moments, she activated a series of security measures, deploying automated defense drones. The drones swooped down, their non-lethal energy blasts dispersing the attackers. Liam glanced up, surprise and gratitude evident in his eyes. With the threat neutralized, he made his way back to Zara. "Quick thinking," he praised, catching his breath. "You just saved us a lot of trouble." Zara felt a rush of pride, her fears momentarily forgotten. "I just did what needed to be done." Liam's gaze was steady, filled with respect. "You've got a real talent, Zara. And a good heart. We're lucky to have you." The Starfinder glided away from Calian Station, its engines humming with a reassuring rhythm. Zara felt a growing sense of purpose as she adjusted to life on the ship. Each day brought new challenges and discoveries, and she relished every moment of it. Liam stood beside her on the bridge, watching her work. "You're picking this up quickly," he remarked, nodding at the console Zara was tinkering with. "Thanks," Zara replied, a smile lighting up her face. "I've always had a knack for technology. It just makes sense to me." Leora, the ship's engineer, joined them, her fiery hair catching the light. "We're lucky to have you, Zara. The navigation system hasn't run this smoothly in years." Zara's cheeks flushed with pride. "I'm just glad I can help." As they drifted through the vast expanse of space, the Starfinder's crew felt like a family. Torin, the navigator, often shared stories of his travels, and Zara listened intently, soaking in every detail. The ship's AI, with its dry humor, provided a constant source of amusement. One evening, as the crew gathered for dinner, Liam addressed them with a serious expression. "We've received intel that Zarin is still searching for us. He's not happy about losing his prized captives." A tense silence filled the room. Zara's heart sank, fear tightening its grip on her chest. "What do we do?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Liam's gaze was steady. "We stay vigilant. And we prepare. Zarin won't catch us off guard." The next few days were a flurry of activity. Zara worked alongside Leora to fortify the ship's defenses, while Torin mapped out potential escape routes. The atmosphere was charged with determination and a sense of impending danger. One night, as Zara lay in her bunk, she couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. The shadows in her room seemed to shift, and the air felt heavy. She sat up, her heart pounding. Just as she was about to dismiss it as paranoia, a soft beep sounded from her console. Zara's fingers flew over the controls, deciphering the incoming signal. Her blood ran cold as she recognized the encryption. Zarin's bounty hunters had found them. She sprinted to the bridge, her breath coming in short gasps. "Liam. We've got trouble." Liam was already there, his eyes narrowed at the screen. "I see it. Torin, plot a course for the nearest asteroid field. We need to lose them." The Starfinder shuddered as it changed course, the engines straining. Zara took her place at the console, her mind racing. She activated the ship's cloaking device, hoping it would buy them some time. The asteroid field loomed ahead, a chaotic jumble of rock and ice. The ship weaved through the obstacles with precision, but the bounty hunters were relentless. Their sleek, black ships darted after them, weapons firing. "Shields at 70%, Leora reported, her voice tense. "We can't take much more of this." Zara's hands shook as she rerouted power to the shields. "Come on, hold together," she muttered under her breath. A sudden explosion rocked the Starfinder, sending Zara sprawling to the floor. Alarms blared, and the smell of burning circuitry filled the air. Liam's voice cut through the chaos. "Damage report. Port thrusters hit." Torin shouted, his hands flying over the controls. "We're losing power." Zara scrambled back to her feet, her mind working frantically. "I have an idea," she said, her voice steady despite the fear gnawing at her. "But it's risky." Liam's eyes met hers, filled with trust. "Do it." Zara accessed the ship's mainframe, bypassing several safety protocols. She initiated a sequence that would overload the starboard thruster, creating a temporary burst of speed. The ship lurched forward, the sudden acceleration throwing their pursuers off balance. The bounty hunters' ships collided with the asteroids, explosions lighting up the darkness. The Starfinder sped through the field, emerging on the other side with only minor damage. The crew let out a collective sigh of relief. Liam clapped a hand on Zara's shoulder. "You saved us, Zara. That was brilliant." Zara smiled, exhaustion and adrenaline mixing in her veins. "We did it together." As the Starfinder continued its journey, Zara felt a renewed sense of hope. They had faced Zarkin's hunters and survived. The crew's bond had strengthened, and Zara knew they were ready for whatever lay ahead. The stars outside the viewport seemed to shine brighter, a reminder that even in the vast, cold expanse of space, they were never truly alone. Zara's heart swelled with gratitude and determination. She was no longer a captive, she was part of something greater, a family bound by more than just fate. The Starfinder drifted silently through the dark void, its engines idling as the crew prepared for the impending confrontation. Zara stood on the bridge, her fingers trembling slightly as she adjusted the sensors. The tension was palpable, a heavy weight that settled over the ship. "We're approaching the rendezvous point," Torin announced, his voice steady but eyes flickering with worry. "No signs of Zarkin's fleet yet." Liam paced behind Zara, his expression grim. "He'll be here." Zarkin never misses an opportunity for revenge. The crew had decided to confront Zarkin head-on, hoping to put an end to his relentless pursuit once and for all. Zara's heart pounded in her chest as she ran through the plans one last time. Every system was optimized, every contingency considered. Now, all they could do was wait. A sudden alert broke the silence. "Multiple ships incoming." Leora shouted from her station. "It's him." Zara's breath caught in her throat as the view screen filled with the menacing silhouettes of Zarkin's fleet. The lead ship, larger and more ominous than the rest, bore the unmistakable emblem of the crime lord. "Battle stations, everyone," Liam commanded, his voice cutting through the rising tension. "Zara, initiate defensive protocols." Zara's hands flew over the console, activating the ship's shields and powering up the weapons systems. The hum of energy coursing through the Starfinder was almost soothing, a reminder of the ship's formidable capabilities. The first volley of laser fire streaked across the void, impacting the Starfinder's shields with a bright flash. The ship rocked, but Zara's adjustments held firm. "Shields holding at 80%, she reported, her voice steady despite the chaos. Liam's gaze was fixed on the view screen. "Target their flagship. We take out Zarkin, and the rest will scatter." As the Starfinder returned fire, Zara could feel the raw power of the ship's weapons. Torin's precise navigation kept them weaving through the onslaught, while Leora's quick repairs ensured they stayed in the fight. "Zara, we need more power to the forward cannons," Liam ordered. "Divert it from non-essential systems." Zara nodded, rerouting energy from the ship's auxiliary functions to the primary weapons. The Starfinder surged forward, its cannons blazing with renewed intensity. The enemy flagship shuddered under the barrage, its shields flickering. "We're getting through," Jax exclaimed, his eyes wide with excitement. "Keep it up." But Zarkin was not one to be easily defeated. The enemy flagship launched a squadron of fighters, sleek and deadly, that swarmed around the Starfinder like angry hornets. Zara's hands danced over the controls, deploying countermeasures and guiding the ship's automated turrets to intercept. The bridge shook violently as a direct hit breached the shields. Alarms blared, and the acrid smell of burning circuitry filled the air. "Hull breach on Deck 3. Leora yelled. "We need to seal it off." Zara's mind raced as she worked to stabilize the ship. Amidst the chaos, a calm determination settled over her. They had come too far to falter now. "I've got this," she muttered, initiating emergency protocols to contain the damage. Liam's voice cut through the din, "We're almost there. One more push." With a final, concentrated effort, the Starfinder's cannons unleashed a devastating salvo. The enemy flagship's shields failed, and the ship exploded in a brilliant blaze of light. The remaining enemy vessels, leaderless and disoriented, began to retreat. Cheers erupted on the bridge, a mix of relief and triumph. Zara slumped back in her seat, exhaustion washing over her. Liam turned to her, his expression one of pride and gratitude. "You did it, Zara. We all did." As the crew celebrated their hard-fought victory, Zara felt a profound sense of belonging. They had faced insurmountable odds and emerged stronger, united by their shared struggles and triumphs. Later, as the Starfinder drifted peacefully through space, Zara stood on the observation deck, gazing at the stars. Liam joined her, the two of them silent for a moment, absorbing the beauty of the cosmos. "Thank you, Liam," Zara said softly. "For everything." Liam smiled, a warmth in his eyes that spoke of genuine affection. "You've earned your place here, Zara. We're a family now. And we'll face whatever comes next together."